You're watching 13 Wham ABC. And this is 13 Wham News at 6.
We begin with breaking news on several fronts tonight. A suspect dies during a shootout with Rochester police after they say he shot 3 others, 1 fatally, leading officers on a chase. Also tonight, what led to charges of bribery against New York State Assemblyman Joe Arrigo. First, we're going to go right to that compelling video as our reporter and photographer witnessed a homicide suspect leading police on a long chase. They were zigzagging through Rochester while shooting out the window of that van.
This individual was clearly on a mission. Clearly on a mission.
Police say that suspect targeted family members, shooting 3 people, killing 1 of them. That chase putting all Rochester City schools on lockout. Now, the suspect in that case later died in a shootout with police. We have team coverage tonight, several crews at the scenes all day. We're going to begin with Jane Flashy in the newsroom tonight. Jane?
Well, Don, a very dangerous situation for police and for people on the street. It started when officers linked the 3 shootings to a rented U-Haul driven by the suspect. We now know the shooter is 47-year-old Terrell Henry and that he intended to shoot his entire family. A homicide suspect fleeing police, firing along the way.
Shots fired at Forrester Goodman. Vehicles continuing.
I heard gunshots and came outside here on the corner and saw a lot of commotion, people scrambling around.
Police say shortly before this pursuit, the suspect shot at 2 people on Post Avenue. A female believed to be his ex-girlfriend was killed. It's alleged he then moved on to the neighborhood near School 25, shooting a man identified as his son.
This was a dangerous incident. This individual clearly had a mission.
We believe the suspect had every intention of killing many more people than he was able to.
Police moved in, helicopters, more officers. All city schools were put in a lockout, kids brought inside, doors and windows secured.
I left my car in park in the middle of the street and just tried to run to the school trying to get the kids.
The vehicle ended up crashing into a driveway, some other vehicles, and shots were exchanged, and the suspect suffered a fatal gunshot wound.
Today, I am really, truly blessed that the police have done what they have done to try to get this person.
Now, during that chase, the suspect targeted a sheriff's deputy. That deputy got into a defensive stance and returned fire. Police brought this to an end without injury to themselves or to anyone on the street. Mayor Warren, a few minutes ago, thanked officers for literally putting themselves in the line of fire. In the newsroom, I'm Jane Flash.
Well, thank you, Jane. As we saw there, this scene spread across a number of neighborhoods. 13 Wham's Andrew Bain is speaking with people who witnessed that high-speed chase. He joins us live now from where that violent spree ended. Andrew?
Yeah, Don, you can see I'm right across from Francis and Bay Street here, and you can see there's still police tape and cruisers blocking it off. No cars have been allowed down there all day long. And I talked with people who live here, residents who saw this happen as it was unfolding. They saw the chase. They saw the shooting that happened moments after, like you saw earlier. Our own crew captured those moments. You can see the U-Haul going by and then police cruisers right behind it, and then a shootout moments later. Now, those who saw it here tell me it was a terrifying sight.
You see the one officer begin to shoot fire, and then everything ended down there at Francis. I'm definitely glad that they got the person. I'm definitely glad for that. I send my condolences to the family whose lives has been taken because of this maniac.
Scary moments here for those that live in this neighborhood. And we're also learning that because there are still many streets that look like this one that are closed off right now, Rochester City School District has announced that there will be delays still in bringing kids home from school today. Even just moments ago, I've still seen buses driving by, dropping kids off, even at this late hour after 6 o'clock. For now, reporting live from Rochester, Andrew Bainus, 13 Wham News.
More breaking news tonight. New York State Assemblyman Joe Arrigo has been arrested, accused of taking bribes to help a local development project. 13 Wham's Tanner Jubinville joining us now from the federal building downtown, where prosecutors said Arrigo took the money as part of a scheme to get to introduce a bill. Tanner?
Good evening, Don. The FBI says Joe Arrigo accepted more than $5,000 in bribes to introduce a bill investigators say could have impacted a local development here in the Rochester area. Now, investigators did not specify what that project was, but they say a lobbyist orchestrated meetups with Arrigo and someone else they call a bribe payer.
Bribery and power are not good for our constituents. This is simply a bribery matter.
The legislative process should not be up for sale to the highest bidder. By misusing his elected office to line his own pockets.
Now, we did reach out to the Assemblyman after his court appearance today. He was released and he has not answered our calls yet. Joe Arrigo is the Assemblyman for the 133rd Assembly District, which includes Livingston County, as well as portions of Monroe and Steuben counties. We are live in downtown. Tanner Jubinville, 13 Wham News.
Breaking news near Albany today. The son of the limo company owner involved in that deadly crash has been arrested. 28-year-old Nauman Hussein is charged with criminally negligent homicide. He was arrested after a traffic stop near Albany today. Hussein runs Prestige Limousine, which is owned by his father. State police say that limousine is the one that failed a state safety inspection last month and should not have been on the road. Investigators say the limo driver did not have the proper license required to drive that limo.
The sole responsibility for that motor vehicle being on the road on Saturday rests with Nauman Hussein.
20 people were killed when that limo crashed in Schoharie. The suspect's lawyer saying his client is not guilty, and the police, he says, jumped the gun in charging him.
Welcome back. Obviously, Hurricane Michael is going to be a hurricane that's going to be remembered for decades and for generations because of the intensity of the storm. Look at some of the flooding they had. This is near Mexico Beach, and they had a storm surge easily up around 14 feet. Many structures just outright collapsed across the area, and some folks were saying that winds were pushing 155 miles per hour. So there were some real obvious differences between Hurricane Florence, which produced about 30 to 35 inches of rain, and then of course the storm surge. And take a look at the winds that they had with Michael here. Many locations had wind speeds well over 100 miles per hour. There's an Air Force base just south of Panama City, Tyndale, and that had a wind speed of almost 130 miles per hour. That was until the anemometer failed because of the intensity of that storm. Just amazing stuff. Now let's look at the time lapse on the radar over a 5-hour time period so you can see how quickly it is moving inland. And of course, it loses its source of energy once it leaves the ocean. But even with that, look at the intensity still at 115 miles per hour. So they're getting major tree damage, structural damage all the way into southern Georgia at this hour, and it's going to be ongoing. We think the heavy rain, the wind damage is going to continue as it moves up towards the Carolinas. I don't think it's going to fall below hurricane status until later tonight after midnight, and then the heavy rain continues through the Carolinas. We color-coded where some of the flood watches are in effect. This is one that's going to be missing Rochester, and we'll talk more about why it is going to be missing Rochester in a second. On the Wham cam now. Right here in Rochester, we got more clouds rolling in, but it was really a gorgeous day. Temperature now at 81 degrees, and we got up to 84 through the afternoon. This is the third day in the row that we've had 80-plus degree weather, and we didn't miss the record by all that much. 89 going back to 1949. Now on the future radar, you can see showers are going to be coming in, a couple of thunder showers. I think there's going to be the chance of rain again tomorrow morning. This is going to be in advance of the cold front, so there's going to be a change here in the temperature. You're going to feel it tomorrow. On the east side, temperatures are going to be in the 70s, but you can see the sense of the colder air coming in. We're going to find the temperature dropping through the 60s. So this is going to be a very fast-moving weather system. The chill is going to come in. We're going to get some wind on this too. And we're fortunate. You say, well, I don't want to get back to the chilly weather, but that cold front is what is guiding Michael off the East Coast and not having an impact on Rochester. So good news. The temperature, it is going to be dropping into the 50s, and then it's going to stay there. So the planning forecast shows clouds increasing. We're going to get a couple of showers, maybe a little rumble of thunder later tonight. The temperature is going to be holding near 70. Tomorrow morning, still a few showers around. Temperature at about 73. Maybe some thunder. Now by the afternoon, the temperature starts to drop through the 60s. And well, you can see as we go through time here, we just stay with the sharply cooler weather. In fact, as we go through next week, we go into next Tuesday, we may not get out of the 40s. We could mix in those ice pellets from time to time.